Around 11:30 Tuesday morning, May Na was getting ready for work, and her daughter Alyssa had stopped over for a visit.
All of a sudden, you heard people get out, and they were shouting.
That's when they saw multiple vehicles pull into this home on Fort Bridgman Road in Vernon. They snapped this photo. All the activity happening at the home of Nathan Carmen.
It's usually quiet at this house.
On Tuesday, the FBI made their way to Vernon to arrest the 28-year-old.
They had no idea this was still going on.
Dina and Stephen Robbins live next door. They were finding out what happened as we spoke with them. According to the couple, he mostly kept to himself, working on renovations, and they say Carmen recently bought another boat.
He'll fix things, and then he tells us that he just puts them online.
These neighbors say they just want the legal process to play out.
People get carried away with a lot of stories and stuff and prejudging. And, you know, we are supposed to be presumed innocent until found guilty, and I just would like to see that happen.
A quiet Vermont community.
It's a very sleepy town.
Turned chaotic on Tuesday afternoon. Police say it was 45-year-old Jay Wilson who they exchanged gunfire with after he shot and killed that man. No officer was injured. Once the shooting stopped, Wilson made it back inside the home. Does the suspect have any prior history?
No known criminal history to us.
State and local police scattering across the small Vermont town, closing off any access to this neighborhood. People asked to stay inside and lock their doors as police were trying to locate the suspect. Yeah, Brian, Alice, a couple hundred guards, men and women from the 158th Fighter Wing are heading over to Europe to help assist NATO.
I'm feeling really excited. This is what I signed up to do.
It's the first deployment for Haley Sales.
It means the world to have my family here and have their support.
But not the first for her father, Todd.
We've been through it before with our older daughter, and, it doesn't get any easier.
Sarah is staying home, while Haley joins the 158th Fighter Wing for a mission in Eastern Europe.
We're excited for her, and don't worry. We're proud of them.
On Thursday, families came together on base in South Burlington, along with Governor Phil Scott and Senator Bernie Sanders, to say they're see you laters, now counting down the days until they're back together again.
It's a moment of pride for all of us.
I feel a lot of pride serving for both my country and my state.
The state police are still not releasing the identity of the person killed on I-89, but they did tell us in the last half hour it is a man, and he's from the northwestern part of the state.
We know that at least a portion of the crash occurred when vehicles began to slow down, when they encountered those conditions. The crash has taken up both lanes of the highway. It's in a fairly narrow area. There are cars in the median.
He said something along the lines of, think about seeing your car in the morning.
Robert Long from St. Albans was parked in the garage and says an officer responding to the gunfire incident said he'd have to come back for his car. Rob made it back to Burlington on Saturday to get his car, coming to the parking garage to find not only one, but two of these on his windshield.
The time that it would have expired is right around the time all the police officers was there.
His friend in the Ukrainian parliament listening in as Vermont lawmakers pledge more than $600,000.
You're not alone in your fight. You have support across the globe, and we will continue to do what we can to help.
The dollar amount, $643,077, signifying $1 for every Vermonter.
I feel like I'm actually helping.
No matter how big or small.
It feels good to know that we're helping children.
Yeah, Brian, I got here this afternoon and I found Ice Cream Bob sitting over here at these picnic tables. He told me he was sitting here reminiscing on the years that he got to do what he loved. And what he loved was serving up creamies, and he did that right in here at his creamy stand. You can see tonight it's all locked up, and it's not just locked up tonight, but it's going to be locked up for good.
It's been the greatest job I ever had.
After 2 decades of swirls and smiles, Ice Cream Bob's is closing shop.
I guess that's what I enjoyed the most, seeing a smile on their face.
Monday by the waterfront was the last time to get a creamy from the man himself. Regulars stopping by to say both their thank yous and goodbyes.
It really, the truth, it brought tears to my eyes. It really did. You don't realize how much people really enjoy, coming here, and it was really hard for me.
Now 80, with more than 50 years dedicated to the hospitality business, Bob says it's the right time.
You don't realize how many people you've affected.
Leaving behind a legacy as sweet as the treat he served. 4-year-old Moose, a mixed bully breed, is getting a second chance at life.
I couldn't help it. I had to reach out.
It's all thanks to Courtney O'Brien from the animal rescue group For the Love of Dogs Vermont. Moose has lived with the O'Brien family since Sunday and has made himself right at home.
He's great with my dogs, great with my kids, great with my husband. Really just wants to be loved.
Happy Pride!
It's the first, but certainly won't be the last Montpelier Pride weekend.
The whole world is celebrating in June, and Vermont saves it for a later date, it seems, so it's really excited to do something in June.
The family of four, grateful that organizers have finally brought the community a Pride celebration. The jam-packed 4 days include art by LGBTQ+ Vermonters set up at locations like the Montpelier Senior Activity Center. Senior Center Director Sarah Lipton knows that the older community she serves has needed a celebration like this.
They're not like, off in a corner somewhere wishing on that rocking chair that they still had queer community. They want to be engaged.
Triumphant.
Yes. Crispin White has been a fan of George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic for decades.
That was a group that I was into during my junior high and high school years.
One of the many reasons he and hundreds of others came to the 39th Discover Jazz Festival's first free waterfront show, with performances from Lakeisha Benjamin and the Soul Squad. And the main act.
It's good to be back up here.
The man himself bringing the funk to the Queen City.
Have fun, let go and shake your booty.
Brian Alice at the Vermont Comedy Club from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. every day of Jazz Fest. They're having these Jazz After Hour lounges. One of them is going on right now. We'll take you a look in as a few other people go in to watch all the fun that's happening. A band on stage and musicians are able to jump on stage and really add to the sound that is going on. It's probably been a few decades since Deb Ellis was at a Bobby Rush show.
When I saw his name here and he's in his late 80s, it's like, I'm there.
Ellis last saw the Blues Hall of Famer when she was living in Chicago. Now the Vermont native is back in Burlington, excited that a piece of her past has found its way to her home.
The opportunity to see this kind of stuff here in town is really, really great.
The sound of live music crossing Burlington is really special, and we love doing that.
There are so many performances left to go, including a busy weekend at the waterfront for free shows Friday and Saturday.
We were literally pulling all-nighters around the clock.
They've spent over a year pouring their hearts and souls into this project. Their canvas, the ceilings and walls at the Main Street Landing Performing Arts Center. This mural is their most recent baby. The couple has painted over 20 murals throughout Vermont. That's hundreds of paint buckets, countless hours of hard work, and even facing some naysayers. But it's their passion, one they'll keep pursuing, hoping to inspire conversations, even if it's their critics doing the talking.
But I'm kind of staying out of the way so I don't interrupt this celebration, but I want to take you around to see what we have here. It's not just a celebration of USA athletes, the ones that competed in Beijing, past athletes and hopefuls, but there are people representing all countries here. I see Team Canada shirts, I see Austria shirts, I see Italian shirts. Well, not shirts, they're jackets. It is a little cold here, but there are also some other teams from different sports, different parts of the country. I saw some Anchorage, Alaska biathletes, and there are also some little hockey players that are here competing in tournaments. So it's just all these different athletes here celebrating not only these future Olympians and these past Olympians, but also all of those Olympians that just competed over in Beijing. Now we're going to bring you a full recap of today, tonight at 10 and 11, so make sure you join us then. Passing the torch to the next generation.
The Olympic spirit that everyone talks about here is definitely alive and well.
12 Winter Olympians who competed in Beijing being celebrated with a parade through the Olympic Village of Lake Placid. American Sylvia Hoffman won a bronze medal in bobsled last month.
It symbolizes something that I have worked so hard in all of my life to do.
Why do you like this marathon so much? What makes you come out year after year?
Well, you know, it's all about the people. We started off as a 5K band, and so marathon's the next level. I think this year with COVID, it's particularly special. Before it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, then it was sex and drugs and COVID, and we never really had the sex and drugs. So we really just had the COVID, didn't we, for 2 years, and the people just really wanted us back, didn't they? We love the runners. We love it.
You might not be able to see it right now. We're in a commercial break, but some of the biggest Catamount fans in here. Do we have any big Catamount fans in here? Yeah, yes, we do. A lot of alumni and a lot of students from all classes are out here. Look at all that spirit we got going on.
We are here to win. Woo! Go Cats!
Catamount Country showing up with numbers at Virtue Field on a day that will go down in the record books for the University of Vermont men's lacrosse team. The Cats beating Manhattan College 15-3 to secure their first ever NCAA tournament win and a trip to the second round of postseason action.
The guys had a workmanlike effort, and they came ready to go the last 2 days of practice, and they answered the bell today, so I was just really proud of their effort.
Bryce Cooney loves baseball.
Just to be active every couple nights and to be able to just have the community come out and see all of us play.
The 12-year-old and his team have been practicing out on this field in Lewis since April, which Bryce's dad Larry and volunteers worked on renovating.
It was a has-been, not used in many, many years.
But after taking the time to redo this entire field, they haven't had the chance to throw out the first pitch.